Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Kinzinger is not running for re-election. Liz Cheney will almost certainly lose. I believe she's running for re-election. And all they're doing is using hearsay, gossip, innuendo, video footage that without the entire, let's just say, to be as fair as possible, they're using selected clips and disregarding and omitting video that could undermine their claims that Trump is responsible. Donald Trump is responsible, Representative Adam Kinzinger stated on first televised hearing. So Donald Trump is responsible. Does he have any evidence? If he's responsible, why hasn't he been indicted or charged? Why hasn't the Attorney General of D.C., the Mayor of D.C., the Attorney General of the United States of America, Merrick Garland, why hasn't anyone, any D.C. court, why doesn't the Southern District of New York try to accuse Trump of organizing that fateful day 2 years ago that I condemn? But I don't see Democrats, morally superior Democrats, who condemn what took place in the summer. Now, I agree with the demonstrations, why they took place, the cause or what people were trying to, laws that were trying to be reformed. But I don't agree with, and I condemn, $1 to $2 billion in property damage, just like I condemned that fateful day in January 2 years ago. But you had $1 to $2 billion in property damage. Democrats said they were mostly peaceful. And you can't have that type of hypocrisy with over 19 lives lost, according to Wikipedia. Every day a curfew in the largest cities of the country. Businesses boarding up windows saying, no, we're on your side. Please don't destroy our business. People being intimidated, living in fear every single day. And you can't say, well, it's a righteous cause. Then you have one young man who's literally attacked by 3 other people, and then they blame the young man for defending himself. And so, you can see it. It's like unbelievable. You can actually give a video of a person, and we know the young man. Okay, but you could give a video with 3 people literally attacking the one individual, and because the individual doesn't fit the media narrative, suddenly he's at fault. When the others were armed as well, or one in particular, actually 2, numerous ones. But anyway, Trump is going to sue Adam Kinzinger like he's going to sue Liz Cheney. So that is not that's going to happen. He's going to sue them, and they're going to be out of government, and they can't just simply rely on, well, it's a House panel, we're protected, because they're making things up. They're attributing quotes. They're doing something that is never done in a congressional meeting. They're attributing quotes to Trump pertaining to what he wanted to do, allegedly, to the vice president. These are not quotes that have any backing in reality. A source saying that Trump said something is not evidence of anything. Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney know this. This is a theatrical performance because Democrats desperately need something to focus on aside from the 8 to 9% inflation, 10-year Treasury over 3%, recession, interest rates rising during a recession, gas prices doubling, oil per barrel at over 120, a stock market that's about to implode, an economy that's going to have an '08 collapse with layoffs. People don't realize that not only is this not just a correction, but like I said in September of last year, I predicted everything. Hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel below in the pinned comment and the description, and also the Bitcoin Crash to 10,000 or lower channel. I'll have segments, of course, today on those channels also. But inflation is skyrocketing more than people thought. Well, I always told you it was going to get worse. But since September of last year on this channel and on the Stock Market Crash channel, I told you, and in October of last year, I predicted. I said we're heading into a tremendous stock market crash and financial downturn because of the policies of the Democratic Party. It is 100% the fault of people who wanted to end economic activity and then focus on saving the planet and doing away with fossil fuels when immediately before fossil fuels became the most important geopolitical issues on the planet. And they did this to themselves and to the country, Democrats. Everything they touch turns to the fertilizer that's now 400 to 500% more expensive. Food shortages. This is going to be worse than 2008. Worse than 2008. And we're on our way there, and I predicted everything. The only reason I tell you this is because you're watching this channel. Tell your friends. I mean, to just tell people, word of mouth is the best thing you could do. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. And it's in the description and the pinned comment. If you want to become a member of this channel, please do so. We will start back with the live streams eventually, but I'm having a good time with the uploads. And yeah, just word of mouth. If you're talking to somebody and they're looking for a YouTube channel that talks about everything from politics to economics, the stock market, the Durham Probe Special Counsel, this topic, just say, hey, you know what? H.A. Goodman has been talking about a financial collapse since September of 2021. So if you're at the dinner table or wherever, at work, talking to friends, let them know. Not many people have predicted the economic downturn. I told everybody. I was one of the few people in all of YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, to say in September of 2021, we're going to have an '08 type of collapse. And so anyway, you can't utilize gossip and hearsay. And Adam Kinzinger says, well, he's responsible. Then why hasn't he been indicted? Somebody asked Representative Kinzinger why Trump hasn't been indicted. Why hasn't Trump been charged? Then you have Vox. Is it January? Hearings showed why it's reasonable to call Trump let's say, an authoritarian. And then you go to Vox, and the article is, maybe our supporters have the right idea. He said, per a committee source. That is not a quote. That is not a quote. Vox is a respected publication. And it's not just Vox, it's everybody. New York Times, Washington Post. These are all respected publications. That is not a quote. You cannot attribute what someone said. Could you imagine if Hillary or Joe or Hunter, with his own emails we can't even talk about, if a quote was attributed to them about criminal behavior? A quote that was in now mainstream publications. The immediate rebuttal would be, well, there's no evidence. That's just somebody who doesn't like them. I mean, you can't just use gossip and hearsay to actually, this is not politics. You can't, it might be difficult depending on where. Maybe he could go and sue Cheney in Wyoming. But I don't know if you know that's possible, whether it's in D.C. or I don't know how how he would go ahead and do it. He'd have to ask his lawyers, and they sued everyone from Comey to McCabe to Strzok to Debbie Wasserman Schultz to Clinton to, I think Clapper also, a whole bunch of people, like 20 plus people. And it took him about a year to do so, or actually a couple of years. So it won't take him that long to sue a number of people, especially Kinzinger and Cheney. They are utilizing quotes. And furthermore, there's no Republican on that panel. You could say Cheney and Kinzinger, but they're never Trump Republicans. You might as well have Paul Ryan there. Or the Lincoln Project people, which you do, enlist Cheney and Kinzinger. You cannot accuse somebody in a public setting, in a public forum. You can't just hide by like, oh, I'm in the government, so I can lie. These people are lying about what Trump said. They're putting words in his mouth. And it's being reported, as usual, the willing participants, the people who are conspiring alongside the Democratic Party are people in media quoting something that should be not even quoted or paraphrased. They're actually attributing words to Trump that he never said. He never said those words. How do we know? Because there's no evidence that he ever said that. Everything is reported as, well, Trump, his personality. Sorry, you can't do that to somebody. You can't simply say, well, I don't like that person's personality. He's capable of anything, so we're going to attribute the criminal conduct. Had he actually stated those things, he could be indicted. But there's no record or evidence that he ever did. And furthermore, how can he be responsible if he hasn't been charged? That's the question everyone should ask when watching this. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now to all 3 channels below in the pinned and description section. I'll be back in about a couple of hours. Thanks.